challenges Fed with a dubious theory. What's all this about, Zach?
President Donald Trump is flipping interest rate theory on its head as he tries to blame the Fed for holding back growth. Trump went after the Federal Reserve on Friday after advancing a dubious argument this week that blue collar workers have gained the most from the strong stock market. A look at both the matters. The Fed. Trump on Twitter. Because of the faulty thought process we have going for us at the Federal Reserve, we pay much higher interest rates than the countries that are no match for us economically. In other words, our interest rate costs are much higher than other countries when they should be lower. Correct. And we are in a world competition and winning big, but it is no thanks to the Federal Reserve. Had they not acted so fast and so much, we would be doing even better than we are doing right now. The facts. Trump's support for the Fed slashing rates to rival Europe's lows flies in the face of basic economics. He's reportedly said that the Fed has been stifling stronger growth and openly criticized Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, his own choice to lead the U.S. Federal Bank. The Fed's decision to hike rates 4 times last year was based on the belief that U.S. growth has strengthened and that there was eventual risk of inflation or asset bubbles that might hurt the economy if the Fed kept short-term rates too low. The general theory is that the central banks cut rates in countries in a downturn or a period of weak growth, but stimulus meant to get an economy back on track. In fact, Trump was mistakenly critical of the Fed efforts to revive growth back during the Obama presidency when he argued that the same issue from the other side. Trump tweeted in 2011 that the reckless policies of low interest and flooding the market with dollars would cause record inflation, but that inflation never materialized because the economy was still recovering from the Great Recession.
That's funny.
Mm.
I don't think I wonder how good his memory is.
It's
I don't
not
think he
good.
really cares.
It's
though.
not good because
Yeah,
if
I
you
don't think
look
there's
back
anything to remember there for him.
yeah, if you look back at his tweets from 2011 to 2012, everything that he could criticize Obama for are things that he does right now,
Mhm.
and
That's great.
he praises himself for them.
I know.
I mean,
So great.
he's
Big.
does he just want the interest rate to be constantly 0% like it was for years and years under Alan Greenspan, and
Sounds
then
like a bad idea.
Ben Bernanke?
Yeah, no thanks.
Mhm.
I mean, that's like future weakening of your economy for short-term gain, which is what I think
That's
of
what he
when I
wants.
think Ronald Reagan, what I think of when I
As
think of
long as
Bill
the
Clinton.
short-term gain is within the span of your own presidency, it's fine, because then you'll leave a good legacy. As long as then the next guy can be blamed for it. It's classic politician moves. I mean, like, this is a bit out of the blue, but during the Weimar Republic period, before Hitler took power, and this is a myth that continues to this day. Hitler strengthened the economy, when he took power. He did in part by greatly expanding the military and the military-industrial complex in
large
Germany.
public spending is
But
good
what
for
he also
economy
did was just take credit for the Weimar Republic,
recovering.
recovering from the economy. So when he took power, they were riding on an economic upturn. And he's like, oh, well, this is all me. This is all my economic policy. It's ridiculous. But people believe it. People are just like, oh, look, he's so good. Trust what he says. Because obviously, like, what they see is in their time while the leader is in power that there's a good economic upturn and you just take credit for that. I don't know, maybe Trump does realize what he's saying and he just wants the interest rates low until he leaves the office, so then he can criticize the next president for the economic downturn that happened. It's like, well, I was president, things were great.
If I were him, I'd try to get out of office as soon as possible, so that way he can just. The economy was very strong under me. Even though he's setting up a collapse, he could just get out before it happens. But if he gets a second term, I think it'll happen during his presidency.
Then we'll see what he has to say about that. It won't matter
He'll be
though
like
at
the
that point.
least popular president. Well, I was gonna say since like Carter, but I mean, he's not gonna be more unpopular than Bush.
Isn't Jimmy Carter one of the lowest or one of the least popular presidents in U.S. history?
Yeah, I think that's unfair, but
Yeah, I mean, being president during that Iranian Civil War, not even a civil war, just when the Shah took power.
supporting the Shah killed his presidency, and then he gave a terrible speech.
He just needs to go back to being a, what was it? What was he, a farmer? A peanut farmer?
Yeah, he was a peanut farmer.
Just needs to go
He's
back to
one
what
of
he
the
does
great
best.
ex-presidents of all time, though. He's been very good since he's been an ex-president.
Yeah, how old is he now? Like 90?
He's like 90
90s.
something. He's very old.
Wouldn't Jimmy Carter technically be able to run for president again?
Yes, he would.
Huh.
No one would vote for him, but
I mean,
yes,
yeah.
he could.
No. I wouldn't vote for him.
No,
He's
I mean,
ancient. I don't even
he's
know if he's got
ancient and
40
he's
years
not even
left.
Bernie Sanders. So,
Oh yeah, but he's like way more ancient than Bernie.
and he's also not as populist
Progressive.
left as Bernie. Yeah, progressive. When
I mean,
people call Bernie a socialist, I'm like, would you call Theodore Roosevelt a socialist? I mean,
probably. Oh, I
that
know people
probably.
that have called him a socialist. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, my uncle's. He's like, I didn't like him because he was a dictator and he was a socialist.
Oh, you're talking about Franklin, not Theodore.
Oh, Teddy?
Yeah, Teddy.
Teddy was definitely. He had some socialistic policy.
He was he was on his Progressive Party ticket. He was running universal health care, living minimum wage, living wage, all the progressive policies. I'll admit he was a little bit more in favor of American empire than Bernie Sanders, but
Just a little bit.
still, just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Active intervention in World War II or World War I would definitely have been a little bit more on the side of American empire.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Teddy's still Teddy. It
I
doesn't
know.
matter if he has socialist policies or not. He's a war hero. He's a badass. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's what people remember him for.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll just gloss over the other things, even though it's maybe something that they don't
I
support.
prefer FDR.
Yeah. But Teddy was a different politician for a different time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
FDR was still pretty good president, and he was definitely he definitely had a lot of socialistic policies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Here.
They were
Let's move
social
on.
democratic, but yeah.
Most socialist policies by U.S. politicians are social democratic, or
Yeah.
there's really not very many, if any.
But social democracy is how you stave off actual socialists.
I know, it's like, hey, let's have a bulk reaction. That'll stave it off. Just instead of addressing the problems, we just completely shut them out and ignore them. But
we can move on.